Hey guys, welcome to Fusion Weaver mod patched highlight 1.9.0, the speed upgrade. Generally there were not much done, well, feature-wise for the patch. There were a few fixes, a few changes, but there was a lot of work backend. Well, let's get with it. The fixes. There are a few fixes. I have rewired Foxin's several attacks, causing debuffs, like the curse, the slow. They should now more frequently, more consistently work. It should no longer like you attack and you get debuff yourself. It should no longer be an issue. But generally, yeah, it should work more consistently, especially on larger targets. It might still not be perfect, but it should be far better now. I've also fixed the very important issue that was escalated to me, the problem with Strife and Hexen. It should now be fixed. There was, honestly, it was. I thought it was just a trivial bug. Back when I used to summon monsters, like for example, I had a, I don't know, Doom Imp Dropper. It used to look like the how's it called? I forgot. The Reaver, the Strife Reaver, and some of the monsters look like the Doom monsters. And for record, if you try to spawn a monster, an object with a sprite that is missing in a VAT file, a WAD file, it will simply spawn in a placeholder, and it will all break. Anyways, this bug is fixed now. It should no longer be a problem. So the sprite compatibility and the Hexen compatibility is once again restored. About compatibility, I've also fixed the issue with the rings. I don't remember how the class name was, but the Strife ring, when you are ordered to kill Beldin, he dropped a ring that was the Zasha's ring, and it's now once again the Strife ring. What I also fixed is the druid's sprite when he was attacking. There was when he was attacking when he was slowed. He was using not the right animation he was supposed to. Regarding animation, Zealot was also broken. Whenever Nova can recall monsters that she controls, her own spawned monsters, the Zealot monster changed the sprite into Dark Templar, for no reason of course. And yes, those are the fixes. There are a few changes. The Flame Barons and Frost Barons, I had adjusted the creation of the flames. Let's spawn in one Frost Baron, and let me get my slug gun now. Those particles are now, I've adjusted the quantity of them and the projectiles as well. It should be just as effective, but I guess it's not as effective. Never mind. Anyways, it should be just as effective generally, and less intensive. The same thing is with the Flame Baron. And I've generally adjusted states of pretty much all monsters, because why is it called a speed upgrade? It's called a speed update, I mean, because monsters now are influenced by movement and attack speed percently, percently. The slows are now like 50% percent slow, so it reduces the speed by 50%, and you can have a slow like 25%. Well, enough chatter, let me show you how this works, because this is the new main feature. I think this is one of the slow spell it was called. Slow spell, yeah. This is one of the rune spells. It now slows pretty decently 50%. And also, if you add another layer of slow, let me use the concussive grenade. Which is the Nova's attack, which slows the target even more. Let's get a Reaver, for example. I think it's not going to work, because I think it's the... No. As you saw, he's slowed significantly, and we can slow him... Oh, yeah. I'm going to kill him like that. Let's slow him once more with the slow spell, and he's even slower. Generally, the more you slow, the less you feel the effect, because the gain is diminishing. It's a diminishing return. Yeah. Generally speaking, what's more, there are two different types of speed. There's the movement speed and there's the attack speed. Most of the effects will affect both attack and movement speed, but some, like the concussive grenades, it only affects the movement speed. It does not affect the attack speed, or at least it shouldn't. Yeah, he's slightly slower. Slightly, and kill him. Let me spawn in on something that's more visible. And an imp is always good. And I will get the... I think I'll call them Implode. No, it's Doom Implode. Yeah, I have so many class names that I simply tend to forget some of them. Someone concussive grenade. He's slower with movement speed. However, his attack speed is the same as it was. So... and... for the record, if you use the concussive grenade... Oh wait, no, I mean the rune spell. Rune spell, yeah. Rune slow spell. It slows both movement and attack. And both of the effects stack. They stack additively. So it means if you have a slow effect 50%, slow effect 25%, it will total a slow of 75%. However, it's not only the slows right now. Monsters can now be hasted. I don't have any effects yet because it's going to be going in with auras for more boss-like monsters. But yeah, the monsters will now be able to move faster. Generally, it's not a rule per se, but generally a monster can move either be slow to quadruple slow based normal time, like moving 25% speed. I think it will be 25% speed, or he can be hasted double. However, unfortunately, with all this state management I had to do, because I'm not using Z-script yet, I'm not using it, and I frankly don't know how to use it well yet, and I want to finish up some features still with using ACS and decorate. However, what do I have here? I've adjusted the states of some monsters that move. Most of those that move fast, so they can now be affected by slow. Predator is one of them that's most visible. It's no longer that smooth, the animation. I personally would like to change it somewhat more, but it's workable. Yeah, Immortal is affected, Hellion is affected, and Protoss Phoenix are affected, out of the few that I remember right now. And I have them in my notes, of course. Let's remove this one. Furthermore, another change to the Mothership, I have disabled the Planet Cracker, the ultimate attack, as it was simply more helpful to the player than detrimental. I will rework it at some point. I don't know how I want it to work yet, but it will be reworked. Furthermore, this is a backend change. It should not affect much anything. The monsters that Nova spawn in are... I have changed a bit of the inheritance. Monsters, StarCraft monsters are now have more information in them, and Nova's version of those minions are using inheritance better. It's a backend change. It should not impact the gameplay at all. In a related thing, Concussive Marauder is no longer a separate monster from the normal Marauder. So now when I try to summon the Concussive Marauder, nothing will happen because there's no longer this factor. But the Marauder now can use both the regular, and they can spawn in with a 25% chance of having the concussive grenades, or 50% chance, I can't remember. The same thing is with Hellion. We will spawn in a Hellion. Hellions have 25% chance of spawning with the Infernal Pre-Igniter upgrade. Yeah, let them fight. I want to show you this. But it's just a 25%, so it might take a little bit before it will spawn in the right one. Oh yeah, see, this one has the blue flames. It deals far more damage. And yeah, they are still the same monster, they simply use different attacks. Those monsters also now have the ability, for future perhaps, to use the power upgrades, Nova upgrades. I mean the Terran plating, the weapons attack, etc. They can now use it actually, but no effect currently can give them that. Okay, let's kill the monsters. It's going to be annoying me right now. Okay. And just a few more things. Some allied Nova spawned units did not have the ice animation. I've added that. That's not exactly a fix. It's more of a change. Because I didn't implement the ice animation because it could have broken a lot of things, but I figured out how it could have broken, so I knew how to re-add it. And unfortunately, one feature that Nova had, I had to remove. Generally, her monsters, which spawned in, for example, a Marauder, the grenade from the Marauder passed through Nova. Same with the Void Rays and Hexen attacks, and all the attacks, they passed through Nova. It's no longer possible due to the fact that the inheritance changed. I can't really make it working how I want until I get my hands on that script. I'm sure that I know a few ways I could utilize it to re-add this functionality. And yes, generally that's all for this version. Currently the speeds affect only monsters. I will be adding hopefully in 1.9.1, so compatible with the saves, with save games from this version I'm here right now. Compatible with weapons, player weapons affected by the player's attack speed. I have some framework already done for that, but it's not exactly implemented. I simply have to go through each and every weapon. It's like more than 100 weapons to go through, excluding Zasha's weapons, because that would be a few thousand, and never want to go that way, but I will have to. Still, regardless, that's going to be it for this patch note highlight. I will be, as soon as you will see this video, it should be available for download. Check the description for the link to the forums, and then on the first post, the main post, there's going to be a download button. So yeah, that's going to be it, and see you guys some other time. Oh, before I complete, the channel actually is not dead, even though it does feel like it. I simply don't have the time to record right now. I will be going back to recording some new playthroughs with Doom, with this new mechanics I have, like the armor dropping, which is simply cool mechanic. Okay, I shouldn't say about my own things at the school, because never mind. Anyways, I will still be plan to record, but I simply have no time lately. As soon as I get the time, I will record. I will probably record an entire series and then just upload it in one go, and it's going to be like activated one video at a time, like one per day, one every other day, something like that. But yeah, that's it. That's going to be it for this, and yeah, if you have any feedback, any hints, any suggestions, any requests, because I don't know what I want to do right now. I'm slowly working on Monster Master, but frankly I have a, let's call it, mother's block. I have some tedious work to do, and that I'm not really in the mood to do that. I do have plans for next characters, so it's going to be a lot of work. Especially since the plans are, after the Monster Master, I will be doing a damage refactor for all the damage types, to have some set in stone that there are particle damage types, they have particle effectiveness against particular monsters. Everything will be specified. At the same time, I will be doing Z-script, and I will be refactoring actors, so I will be able to add more features. For example, to add critical strikes and critical chances and critical multipliers, that all depending on the weapon, its particular attack. So it will be cool. And one more, we will be adding. Hopefully, I won't want to add something cool, which is going to be weapon modding. But that's going to be a lot of work, Okay, once again I'm going to be talking all the hours about new features I plan and never do anything get anything done. So, this is going to be it for the patch note highlights 1.9.0. Well, technically that's not highlights, it's all the patch notes. But yeah, the 1.9.1 will be the probably, hopefully fast, but don't count on it. I have little time to work on it right now. But hopefully it will be the feature with the weapons being affected by the movement speed and the attack speed, not movement. Why would the weapons be affected by movement speed? Oh, before I forget, there are two with this speed. There are two special flags for monsters. There are massive monsters and there are unaffected by cold monsters. It is still not entirely implemented. It's implemented by case per case basis. Evidentially cold, truly cold resistant monsters will be immune to the cold effects by slows, and bosses will be immune to the effects by massive. Example: Ranger's slow arrow is Ranger's cold arrow is the cold slow based, and concussive grenades from Nova are effects that do not affect massive creatures. Anyways, once more, I think it's the third or fourth time. Thank you guys for watching, and if you have any feedback or anything else, just leave me a note and I will see what I can do. So, see you guys next time.